At the Italian Home for Children, the aim is to help young people with mental illness be more productive and independent. Part of the strategy is the Urban Agriculture Program started this summer on the home's campus in Jamaica Plain. To tell us about it are two guests from the home. We'd like to welcome the CEO, Imari Jeffries, and the director and an expert on agriculture, Jason Torres. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Imari, put this into context here because you have a history of 96 years. You didn't start out this way, but what's the connection between the beginning and what you're doing now?
Well, you know, there's two things that our JP campus has been known for. Only two things that have been there. We're right on Moss Hill. We've only been a farm and we've only been Italian home. And so this is probably the farm's turn to take the lead. And so this idea of Italian home having a farm at the same time as we've been operating our mental health, behavioral health, and educational programming is timely. And so it's an exciting time, 96 years. It was a community-based organization started by residents in the North End to respond to a problem. And we think urban agriculture is a way that we can gather the community around this issue that's impacting our city and our community and our state.
Jason, tell us a little bit about the young people you're working with in this program.
So on our Jamaica Plain campus, we have children. They range in age from 4 to 12 years old. And the children that live with us are all coming to us having experienced some significant, mostly significant childhood traumas. They come from Boston proper, so all over the city of Boston, but we also get residents from towns west and north of the city.
Now, I imagine you're talking about children who have problems that have been with them since they were born. Maybe these are also kids who are just normal kids and something really terrible happened along the way.
Absolutely. So a lot of our kids have experienced trauma early in their lives. They've been exposed to community violence. Some have been exposed to violence in the home. And we have a number of children that have impairments and issues from birth.
Imari, what are you preparing these young people for? Because once they go through this program, what happens next?
You know, we think the exciting opportunity about urban agriculture, I mean, first and foremost is about self-esteem. You know, to understand and see yourself as a grower and as a producer is an amazing, and to watch that transformation of young folks see themselves as capable of growing something, taking care of something, nurturing something, and you know, have a kid who would say, I hate lettuce, I hate tomatoes, and to come out there and for them to tell you, this is a cherry tomato, this is this type of tomato, this is not ripe, and this is how you peel a tomato. I mean, that's fascinating. But I think when we think about taking children who are born with an emotional impairment or who have experienced trauma, and have them be transformed through the outdoors, have them be transformed through STEM learning. And so when we think about urban ag, we think about it as an opportunity to be therapeutic, but tying in the art of growing, the art around painting and creating the fences for the farm. We think about engineering and technology. We're doing some hydroponics, and so you're really taking kids who have not thought of themselves or thought of a career in engineering to say, hey, I've just created an irrigation system that has kept this plant from being a little tiny spud to this giant tree. And so kids get really fascinated with different types of alternative careers. So it's not just the agriculture, it's everything surrounding it. It's the biology, it's the engineering, it's the farming itself. And so it's robust. It's a robust opportunity for us to engage children who enter there, maybe not sure of themselves, and exit there and see themselves as amazing.
Jason, what about I imagine most of these children, either they grew up in the suburbs or in an urban neighborhood. You know, you don't just instantly get into agriculture. So how do you hook them on this?
We do a lot of art activities, and we do a lot of nature exploring, a lot of hands-on. You know, every child, no matter where they come from, they gravitate to being outside. They love getting dirty, love digging in the dirt. So we really focus on activities that are hands-on. Learning.
Speaking of the hands-on part of this, I understand there is actually a chemical effect. This is not just chemistry in a figurative sense here. We're talking about something really happening, right?
Yeah, something happening in the dirt. There are microbes in the dirt that actually help regulate brain chemistry and actually help settle you down and allow your brain to control your body and calm yourself. It's some of the same chemicals that are found in the drugs that we are unfortunately giving the kids to help control behavior, actually found in the dirt.
Imari, I mean, some of this is also about focus too, right, isn't it?
It is about focus, because I think, you know, when you are a parent of a child who might be emotionally impaired, you know, there's a lot of fear, because, you know, every parent wants their child to be successful. Every parent wants their child to be happy. And so if you're there at the Italian home and you've created something through this urban agriculture to create a spark in a child, you know, that not only provides some stability to the child, some hope and some excitement with a child, you're also providing some hope and focus to parents who see themselves as successful parents because they've been able to tap into their child's limitless potential. And so the focus is an important part, because we really want people to see that having an emotional impairment, needing mental health services is not a stigma that you need to hide in the closet. It is a situation that unfortunately some of us find ourselves in, and some of us do other things like nature walks, some of us do other things like eat ice cream at home, or some of us do other things like talk to our friends. And so we're trying to create alternatives to mental health therapy beyond traditional talk therapy that you can do not at the Italian home, but you can create your own Coke bottle version of an aquarium. When I was a kid, I know we created those all the time. You cut the bottom of the Coke bottle and you created a planetarium. You grew sprouts or beets or whatever you grew. And so we really want to create something that people can do thinking about their mental health, not necessarily at Italian home. We're trying to scale that idea, not necessarily promote our services through urban agriculture.
Jason, you've been through a summer of this pretty much, and you have these young people working in the garden. They see this unfold over time. What does that do?
So it's been amazing. We had a young lady who is at our day school. She has used the garden as exercise. She walks up our hill, she works in the garden, gets her hands dirty. That's her exercise. And she had the opportunity to share that with her mother. And I was a silent bystander. And I saw a connection that wasn't there previous, but they found a connection and a bond that they could share outside of their struggles, outside of relationship issues in the past, that really helped them reconnect. And the garden and agriculture does that in a very non-threatening and inclusive way. And so that's the biggest takeaway for me so far this summer, is that it's actually helped repair a lot of bonds that were stressed and in some cases broken in the past.
Thank you both very much, Jason Torres and Imari Jeffries from the Italian Home for Children.